and a search for its inner image. I use thick paper and a B2 pencil as it produces a soft, lively line and allows for easy shape adjustments. First, I outline the overall silhouette of the composition, a vertical format with a dominant figure in the center. Using light lines, I define the oval of the head, the axis of symmetry of the face, and the approximate placement of the eyes, nose, and lips. Then I moved on to the hair, defining it as a frame for the face without delving into details. Below, I outlined a second figure and animal integrated into the human form, striving to maintain a sense of unity rather than separation. I intentionally kept the forms somewhat naive and generalized to preserve the emotional impact. With an eraser, I carefully removed unnecessary lines, softened the contours, and sought a balance between symmetry and vibrant asymmetry. I didn't push the sketch to photorealism. It was important to me to leave room for improvisation at the color stage. Once the sketch was complete, I moved on to acrylic painting. I used 3 brushes, a fine one for lines and details, a medium one for shapes, and a larger than medium brush for the background, and large splashes of color. I started with the background because it sets the overall mood. I chose a combination of blues and greens. Applying paint with loose directional strokes, I used a larger than medium brush, sometimes blending the colors directly on the paper. It was important to me to create a sense of movement and energy, almost like a stream or wind, so that the background would not be static. Next, I moved on to the clothing. I chose dark, almost blackish brown tones to make the figure appear stable and heavy against the vibrant background. I used a medium brush to lay down the main spots, and then used a fine brush to add contours and enhance depth. Where it intersects with the animal, I painted the hair with a warm ochre gold color. I wanted it to contrast with the cool background. I worked with a medium brush, leaving uneven areas and lines. This emphasizes the handcrafted look and adds expressiveness. I enhanced the contours here and there with a fine brush. I approached the face especially carefully. I used light flesh tones, thinning the acrylic with water to create translucent layers. I painted the face softly without harsh shadows, maintaining a conventional feel. I made the eyes a bright green. They are the painting's focal point. I emphasized the eyebrows and lips with a fine brush, enhancing the graphic quality. Finally, I added small details: whiskers, animal fur, lines around the eyes, and accents on the lips. I applied white strokes of fur with a fine brush, using sharp strokes to create texture and the feeling of a living creature. At this stage, I deliberately increased the contrast and allowed myself to be expressive. Critical assessment of the painting. What worked well? A strong image and the idea of connecting human and animal. Expressive eyes, they immediately draw attention. A lively, energetic background that doesn't fall, but rather supports the composition. The naive style works as an artistic technique, not a mistake. What didn't work or could be improved? The facial proportions could be made more deliberate. They currently work for the style, but they can create a sense of randomness. The transition between the human and the animal faces could be softened or, conversely, conceptually emphasized. Add more tonal transitions in the clothing to prevent it from looking too flat. What to add or change? You can enhance the symbolism, patterns, symbols, additional color accents. Try limiting the palette to make the painting more cohesive. The painting is close to naive art, primitivism and art brut with elements of symbolism. It may appeal to people who value emotionality, inner images, psychological portraits, and don't seek academic precision. This work is about feeling, not realism, and therein lies its strength.